and take action to reduce it.
Right now on Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock on Local 3, Denver and other counties dropped their mask mandates, but there are some exceptions where you and your family might still need a face covering.
The school drama in Douglas County continues. A possible recall battle is shaping up over the future of the superintendent.
And how you can support a loyal and fierce Broncos fan here looking to leave his mark on NFL fandom history. Hopefully he'll have more to cheer about for the Broncos next season. Yes. Meanwhile, we can help send them to the Super Bowl. We'll explain coming up. Good Friday morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady as we take a live look outside from our Mile High cam. It is another cold start to the day, but we know there is going to be a turnaround at least. So that's some good news after that winter storm this week, Lisa.
It was nice to see the snow, though. You're right, that we get a few degrees above freezing and you get a lot of sunshine. Hello, sunshine out there, and you're going to see a lot of melting. 30s today, 40s tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be one of the warmest days that we've seen since this storm hit. It'll get a little cool again on Sunday. We're tracking a weak cold front, and I'll show you that here, the impacts of that in just a few minutes. But let's get through our Friday. Get ready for a really nice weekend. 16 in Denver right now. It feels like 3. Southwest winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's going to usher in some much warmer weather. We'll be close to freezing here by noon. Definitely still a hot cup of coffee kind of start to our day. But this afternoon, highs will be right around 38 to near 40. You'll find more 20s to near 30 in the mountains today. Estes Park 32, Evergreen upper 30s, and in Frisco right around freezing. Our emoji cast, though, shows again hitting upper 30s today and then tomorrow dropping down into the teens and 20s in the morning. It won't be nearly as cold early Saturday, so it's nice to see this change. I'll show you what that cold front's going to do and where we might get a little snow Saturday night coming up.
And I've been talking about some of the snow and ice still around the edges of the highways, that they're mainly dry, but we still have some of those icy edges. And I think people start getting comfortable with the conditions and they hit some of these icy areas and then spin out. Take a look at I-25 up near 104th, and you can see that now the fire department's showing up here, but the right lane is blocked up with this crash. Look how many cars are in there. And there's also one over here in the express lane on the southbound side. So here comes the ambulance as well. So they have that right lane blocked. They have the express lane blocked. Everybody's squeezing down to the 2 lanes to get around it. So we are heavy from 120th on in, but it shows you there are still some icy spots to deal with here on the morning commute. The drive time from up there is still about 45 minutes, so you have to slow down there and then slow traffic across downtown. And 270 and I-70 have been very busy with that earlier problem on the westbound side near Quebec. We still have big delays on I-70 over by Tower Road from a rollover crash affecting both sides of the highway, and still Highway 6 in Golden, or going to Golden from 119 just on the eastbound side is closed down for some tunnel damage there at tunnel number 1.
Well, for the first time in months, you can be indoors in Denver without wearing a mask.
Yeah, that's true in a lot of places. The city and county's mask mandate expired, but there are some exceptions still. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live from Larimer Square downtown. And Veronica, we're seeing kind of a ripple effect of other counties also starting to drop their mask orders.
We are, and starting today, if you come to places like Larimer Square with these restaurants and shops like the ones you see behind me, you're not required to wear a mask anymore. That mask mandate actually expired at midnight, but some of these spots, they can still go ahead and ask you to put yours on. You mentioned those exceptions, and those are Denver schools as well as childcare facilities. So Denver Mayor Michael Hancock, he chose not to extend the mask mandate this past Monday. Officials said they're allowing data to lead their decisions here, adding a downward trend of COVID-19 cases since late January led them to this. And then other cities and counties across the Front Range, they're doing something similar. Broomfield's mask mandate, that ends today. Jefferson County voted to end its mask mandate on February 18th. Meantime, Adams and Arapahoe's mandates expire tomorrow. Now, despite mask mandates expiring across the Front Range, businesses, like I mentioned, they can choose to keep them around, and officials ask that if that is the case, customers respect that decision.
Other businesses and venues may decide to continue to require masks or proof of vaccination. They are well within their rights to do so, and we should support them for doing what they feel is necessary. I want to be clear and ask the public, please, this is no reason to give their staff a hard time.
And it's important to add that Mayor Michael Hancock did say that if at any point there's a, quote, major spike in COVID cases, he is open to adjusting these rules, and that does include reinstating a mask mandate. We're in downtown Denver on Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right, in one place, Veronica, where they will still require a mask is the Children's Museum. They're scheduled to reopen tomorrow after a 10-day closure. The museum closed last Wednesday, and the reason was people had been taking their anger about the mask policy out on staff. When the museum reopens, you'll need to wear a mask, and you will also need a reservation. The White House is preparing to send out vaccines for kids under 5 years old. The FDA's advisory committee will meet February 15th to review data. The vaccine would then need to be authorized by both the full FDA and the CDC.
New this morning, there is an effort to remove Douglas County School Board members accused of trying to force out the superintendent behind closed doors. That same board will discuss the superintendent's future at an executive meeting later tonight. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon has more on the major updates in a bizarre controversy that had school canceled yesterday.
Students are heading back to the classroom this morning, but parents, teachers, staff, no doubt will be watching what happens with that superintendent very closely. There's an online petition going around right now calling for the removal of certain school board members, saying they broke the law, violating open meeting laws. That petition is trying to get to 10,000 signatures already. They're just a couple hundred off. The allegations from 3 school board members say the new board majority held closed-door meetings to try and force Superintendent Corey Wise out. The superintendent has been with the district for over 2 decades, spending a little less than one of those in his current position. The claims sent shockwaves through the school district, with hundreds of teachers calling out sick yesterday and protesting the apparent secret actions of certain school board members.
If the allegations prove to be true, then we are going to see some really difficult times in Douglas County. We're going to see a mass exodus of individuals that just can't stay here.
The school board president told us earlier this week that any formal decision regarding the superintendent will happen in a public meeting, which is required by law. There is a special meeting for the school board tonight at 5, and on the agenda is discussing options related to the superintendent's contract. It says they'll take actions as they find appropriate. We'll, of course, be following up. In Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Denver leaders are laying out a plan to address the uptick in crime. Part of it expands on the precision policing model DPD began last summer, which identified 5 hotspots around town. Since then, Chief Paul Pazin says there's been a dramatic decrease in criminal activity in 4 of those 5 hotspots. DPD now says its goal is to achieve similar results in 3 new hotspots, 14th and Federal, Dartmouth and Havana, and Lipan and Mississippi. Illegal behavior at Union Station also has their attention. Since November, more than 500 arrests have been made at Union Station and in the downtown area. DPD says it will work with RTD, case managers, and substance use navigators to help curb drug activity.
Broncos president John Elway is responding to allegations accusing him of conducting a sham interview with a former NFL coach. Elway calls the claims from Brian Flores this week false and defamatory. He said he took Flores seriously as a head coach candidate back in 2019. Flores accused the Broncos of conducting the interview only to satisfy the league's Rooney Rule, which requires teams to interview minority candidates. He also claimed Elway and CEO Joe Ellis appeared hungover and disinterested. Elway said he may have looked that way because they took a flight in the middle of the night to meet with Flores. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank has his full response right now on thedenverchannel.com. Some Colorado coaches say the outcome of the Brian Flores lawsuit could have major implications for the next generation of professional coaches of color. Over the past year, diversity in the head coaching position in the NFL has decreased. There are now 3 head coaches of color, and only 1 is black. Narcy Jackson and Kyle Reese are with Athletics and Beyond. It's a nonprofit that helps at-risk youth in the Denver Metro succeed on the field and in the classroom. They say the lack of diversity in coaching within the Broncos organization sends a negative message to Denver's youth.
Society teaches black and brown children in specific how to be employees. They do very little to teach them how to be employers.
I think the message is to young people there's even a limitation within the professional ranks.
Jackson and Reese say if the NFL is truly interested in diversity, they need to start recruiting diverse talent at the top of every organization. Well, a Douglas County Sheriff's deputy rescued a dog from a burning SUV. Take a look.
Right here? Yeah. Oh, man, come on, man. Hank.
Wow, that was Deputy Michael Gregoric pulling the dog Hank from this burning vehicle that was obviously filled with smoke at the time. He says it was in that moment the only thing that mattered was getting Hank out of there.
I just went in there and grabbed on, and his body had already kind of started to tense up, so I knew he was really in a bad way, and so my thought only at that point was he's coming out with me regardless of, whatever else might be happening.
Pretty incredible. If you're wondering how Hank is doing, he's right there in the background wagging his tail. The deputy said he was playing just moments after he was rescued.
Well, the White House is going red, white, and blue this morning to cheer on Team USA as the Olympics get underway in China. A look at Winter Olympians' new training facility coming to a popular Colorado resort.
And the cost of convenience is about to go up. We'll detail the price hike coming to Amazon Prime.